That was a nice lunch. Definitely gonna have to come back here. Ate my sandwich and got to play with my ham radio. See which repeaters I had programmed in were in reach. Yeah, I do have a ham radio license. Kilo India 6 Foxtrot 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 is my call. And that ranger I passed came past me while I was eating lunch, and he went down this road, and I've never been down this road, so I'm gonna see where it goes. Looks like it's a lot more groomed, because there was a lot of evidence of other campers and recent spent casings and people shooting up here, and I don't think it's illegal for them to do that. It's hardly legal anywhere in California to shoot nowadays. So, yeah, there's some trash behind. I picked it up, and some of the trash I threw into the fire pits up there. Stuff I wasn't too worried about getting funk on, or getting funk from touching them. I threw it in my bag. Oh, there's a table up there. Well, that's the one I'm going to go to if I camp up here. Clouds came in a little bit more, and it's a little bit cooler, which is kind of nice, but I always worry about that forecast of rain. It was lower here when I checked online, so or the percentage. So hopefully I'll stay dry. I did not bring a jacket, so. But I don't mind getting a little wet. I just don't want to be in a downpour. I'd rather be in the rain on this kind of pavement or this kind of terrain versus a road with asphalt. Well, I stopped. I checked in on my inReach, and for whatever reason, it's not posting to Facebook. So I don't know. Usually I send a message to Facebook and then on one to Erica. So she knows where I'm at. But surprisingly enough, I had cell signal up here, so I texted and posted a couple of pictures to my page. So that was cool. But once I get settled, I definitely want to come back and camp back here. Be a nice way to. So I do have stuff. I used to backpack, or I backpacked, I guess I should say. I'm not like a avid backpacker. I can't really do much of it now anyways with my back. But I've backpacked down to Havasu Pai Indian Reservation, Havasu Pai Falls, I think, and the Grand Canyon twice. And one was 15 or 16 years ago, and the last time was about 5 years ago, and 5 years ago it really snockered me out. Mostly because the first time I was sharing the weight of the gear with my ex-wife. But this time I was carrying all of my gear for me by myself and didn't split the weight with with somebody else. So I had to carry my tent and everything else that I normally would, where normally we would have split some of that weight. But I was just gassed by the time I was backpacking back out. There was a native on a horse going up to the horse station up at the top, the parking lot, and he came by. He was doing a run, because what a lot of people do is they take their, they park. There's a parking area up there, and then they book a horse transport where they'll pack all of their camping equipment and gear and all that stuff with the horses, and they pay a fee, and that's the natives, on top of getting funds from the campground, they get paid to transport your stuff down if you want. But he was on his way back up, and I was just totally snockered, and he coming by me on a horse, and I decided, I said, hey man, I said, I'll give you $20 when I get to the top if you carry my pack up on your horse. And I don't think he was supposed to do it, because he might have been he was working for the pack, the horse packer thing. But he's like, yeah, what the heck. And okay, camping's that way, so I'm gonna go this way. Excuse me. And he took it and just hoisted his pack up, my pack, right up onto his shoulder, and he didn't even get off the horse, just picked it up from on his horse. And that was it, man. And it was still rough going for me, man. That was right when I started getting hurt, I guess. There's a lot more campgrounds, and there's a toilet. I'm gonna go see what this says real quick, so bear with me. Squeaky brakes. Well, it's good to know there's campground limits 14 days. Sanitation, operation of vehicles, building fires. Okay, camping, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. replaced. No, it's just a lot of their codes. Firearms, discharging or igniting firecracker, rocket, explicit. Okay. Capable of taking human life, causing injury or damage to property. Within 150 yards of a residence building, campsite, developed recreation site, or occupied area, or two across or on a forest development road or a body of water adjacent thereto, whereby. So you can't do that. Alright. No fee notices. But yeah, this looks like fun. I mean, chug, chug, chug. It's close enough, yet far enough. I think this road I have a Ford Excursion, so it's 4-wheel drive, so it should be able to make it up this no problem. But and I forgot what I was talking about already again. Back. I don't even know if I was listening to myself when I was talking. But, have a ham radio gut. Checked up a couple of repeaters, ones that I thought didn't even exist, still did. But I kept them on my memory just because I never knew. And I have so much more room in my memory on the radio, so I think I have like 1,000 memory channels or something, so well, that's pretty. But so no point in getting rid of them. Just figured if I didn't have a cell signal, then I could, if I got hurt or something, and if it wasn't bad enough to call for help on my inReach, I could hit a repeater, and there's always somebody on. There's this one repeater out here, they call it Keller Peak, and it's up by Big Bear. And it's got some serious altitude because that repeater will reach all the way from Las Vegas to Catalina Island. You know, with its altitude. I mean, if you're stuck behind another mountain and you're not line of sight, then you're not going to obviously hit it. But where I'm at, I was getting a full signal. So I don't use it a whole lot. I used to when I was new to the hobby. You know, I was getting into it, learning how things work and making friends and stuff like that. And it killed, you know, I was working graveyard. So I'd bring the radio with me, and when, you know, at 3:30 in the morning, even most bad guys are asleep. So, you know, we'd take a break, and I'd talk on that to somebody. I made a friend who, he's actually going to my wedding, Richard, N6DXN. And we've been friends for almost 10 years now. But yeah, it was fun, and you know, just other things, you know, it helped keep me awake, and you know, helped me learn the hobby and all that stuff. But I have a little Yaesu FT60 handheld on a chest harness that I'm wearing right now, and I've got a bendable, expandable antenna on it. So it's short and it bends with the contour of my contour of my chest. So I wear that, and if you know, somebody's always monitoring Keller Peak, and one time when I was out on North Main Divide in Ortega, I didn't have a GPS, and my phone didn't get a signal, and I hit a fork in the road, and I didn't know which way was which, and I was trying to get to Orange County and come back another way. So I couldn't, for whatever reason, the phone showed me, this is years ago, I think I had one of the first smartphones, like an HTC or something, but it gave me GPS coordinates, but I couldn't see it on a map, and I couldn't pull up a map. So I got on the air, and lo and behold, somebody listened, you know, identified myself, said what I was doing, and I gave him the GPS coordinates, and he went up on Google Earth and said, yeah, if you're facing east or southeast or wherever, which way I was going, that fork on the right will take you where you need to go. And that shows it's going down this direction. I'm like, all right, cool. So, is that a road? Looks like it. So yeah, that worked out. You know, and we all know about how ham radio operators help coordinate rescue efforts for Hurricane Katrina and all that stuff. And you know, and when a poo hits the fan, you know, say if there's an earthquake, a lot of cell towers are going to go out of commission. You know, and I've been reading stuff online, and you know, you can believe everything you read online. But they're saying that they expect San Andreas to hit, and it'll be like an 8-pointer or something like that. They're waiting for it. So, you know, that's when the Northridge earthquake hit. It knocked down a section of the 14 freeway over the 5 in Newhall, or just right outside of San Fernando Valley. I think that's the right earthquake I'm thinking of. And all those people that lived in the Santa Clarita Valley, well, yeah, tangent alert. I'm not talking about ham radios right now. All those people had to take the 14 up to Pear Blossom Highway, which I think is the 138. Well, anyways, it goes east-west from the 14 to the 395, and then come back down 395 to 15 to get to LA. And that was every day for months and months and months and months. So just to see what kind of effect an earthquake has on our infrastructure, they were flying in LA County deputies to Magic Mountain parking lot, Six Flags Magic Mountain parking lot, in helicopters, just so they could get out there and patrol. Because a lot of the deputies don't live up there. You know, a lot of cops don't live in the city they patrol. I think that's especially true with deputies, because a lot of them will patrol, you know, the county areas aren't, you know, the median income levels are a lot lower in those areas, and so it's not a nice place to live, or not desirable, I guess I should say. But this is about as politically correct as I'll get, but my friends that know me know that I speak my mind. But in an effort to not get comments that I don't want to read, I'll keep it tame. So yeah, I mean, when I worked for Corona before I retired, well, I mean, there's a handful of my friends that live in the city, you know, but it never appeased to me. I mean, I think they grew up there, so they're used to it. Don't get me wrong, there are parts of Corona that are really nice. But just because they're nice doesn't mean that nothing happens there. Some of the craziest calls I ever had were in the neighborhoods you thought were upper middle class. So, but and that's where the bad guys go anyways. You know, why steal from Big Lots when you can go to Nordstrom's and steal? You know? The penalty for getting caught is the same, and if you get away with it, why steal from a lower income neighborhood where your booty might not be as good, whereas if you go to, you know, the Nordstroms of neighborhoods or Macy's or whatever you want to call it, you know, what you'll get is a lot better. But anyways, so yeah, there's nice areas of Corona, and most of the time they're the boring places to have a beat in, but I never, you know, when you see it through the eyes of an outsider and you don't have the memories of the town before being a cop, then everything gets kind of jaded. You know, you're just like, no, I really don't want to, and then it reminds you of work too much. You know, that was my biggest thing, is I wouldn't want to be reminded of work when I don't have to go to work. You know, the second I took off that uniform, I forgot. And I'd had people walk up to me all the time, hey, you remember me? And rarely, I'd say maybe 15-20% of the time I would remember somebody. And it usually, you know, if it was a traffic stop, no, I wouldn't remember you. Unless you had like a really cool car or something really silly happened. But it would have to be a significant incident for me to really remember who you were. And people would do that to me. They'd see me because I worked the same beat for years, and I felt that I liked that because I wanted to know who the people were that I served, and I wanted to know, you know, I wanted to know the quirkiness of those neighborhoods, or, you know, who that person was that was the person that they were going to get calls on all the time, or all that. I wanted to know that. So that's why I stayed, you know, and granted, I did get comfortable, but when they see a familiar face, then I think it does better for your community-oriented policing. You know, you're a lot, you know, when people see you the same person all the time, it becomes more than just a badge and a uniform. And you know, that was my whole goal in being a cop, was I became a cop because I wanted to help people. You know, I wanted to make a difference in someone else's life. You know, a positive difference. And you know, I took people to jail that I had to take to jail. You know, and you know, and there was plenty of people that deserved to go. You know, so, but you know, I wanted to help people more, and being a fireman wasn't that way to do it. You know, everybody loves a fireman. You know, there's a joke, you know, that I know is like, God made cops so firemen can have heroes. You know, and my favorite, most recent one is if people can go on ride-alongs with the cops, can you go on a sleep-along with the firefighter? You know, because you know the joke was, and take what I say with a grain of salt, because I have two very good, very close friends that are firefighters, and I love them to death. And it's just like, you know, Marines versus Navy, or Army versus Marines, or whatever. It's all friendly, and you know, it's all in good nature and esprit de corps, all that stuff. But gee, I hope I'm going the right way. If I keep going that direction, I'll hit people. But, you know, anytime a firefighter, unless he's going to the store, you know, every time that engine leaves, it's usually rolling code 3, which is lights and sirens in California. Because nobody ever calls the fire department to say hello. You know, they call because it's an emergency, medical aid, or property, you know, safe property, stuff like that. So they roll code 3 everywhere they go. So you don't see the face-to-face except from when they do the fill the boot projects during Christmas and stuff like that. But, you know, cops are always driving around, always doing, you know, always being seen. And I think that affords you an opportunity to develop community with the people that you're serving. So I like to, you know, but then love those washboard. Wish I had abs like that. Bugs. Keep my mouth closed. But yeah, towards the end I got kind of, I don't know, disenfranchised. Towards the end of my career, because of my injuries, I was limited to working as a desk officer. They would not let me go out in the field. As a matter of fact, my doctor had put a permanent restriction on me stating that I should not be involved in situations likely to result in physical combat. But as a cop, that's pretty much anything. So basically he was disqualifying me from being a cop. But there was just, you know, that was the ultimate. There was just some paperwork stuff, some administrative stuff that needed to get done, and I was working as a desk officer. And I worked the front counter. I'd handle walk-ins, and then I'd handle phone calls. You know, people call, and, you know, Nigerian Prince wants to send me $1 million, but I gotta send him 500 first. You know, that kind of stuff. What do I do? And I remember this one girl came in, and I think she had been defrauded. I don't remember the details. Or somebody was trying to defraud her. And after, you know, saying our greetings and all that stuff, she started to tell her story, and her story was, well, I met this guy on Craigslist. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, mentally, okay. A lot of my storytelling is also includes what I'm thinking, and sometimes I have a hard time making that known. It's like, so sometimes I don't, you know, say this stuff, but I'm thinking it. And I don't think she was young, but maybe she's in her 20s. But the first thing I thought about was, okay, let me just stop you right there, because anything you tell me after this is null and void. Because why would you meet anybody on Craigslist? You know, it's basically, Craigslist is, you know, aside from selling cars, which I sold my last truck on, Craigslist is the website where gay men want to go meet gay men. And, you know, and anything beyond that is a scam. So yeah, so I started seeing more and more of that kind of, those kind of people coming in, and I said, you know, is it new? Are we really getting this stupid as a society, where people are just thinking that they're going to get, you know, well, okay, Joe was selling a car for $5,000, but Bob contacted him online and wants to buy his car for $6,000 with a check, and wants the overpaid amount sent back to him, so he'll get $1,000 back. So Joe, I guess that's the guy selling the truck, gets the check, goes and deposits it into a bank account, his bank account, and immediately gets the funds for whatever reason. And I know most banks hold funds now, so don't yell at me for that. But immediately gets the funds and gives Bob $1,000. Well, and takes the truck. So Bob has the truck, and we don't know Bob's real name, because Bob obviously used a stolen identity somehow, somewhere. That's usually what happens. And so Bob used his stolen identity to get the truck and $1,000 with a fake and fraudulent check, or stolen check. And that's the kind of people that would come in all the time. In the day and age of the internet and social media and all that stuff, how could you not know that this is a scam? And some people, I think, outrightly did know that it was a scam and thought that they were going to get some money out of it, and then claim that they were defrauded. Well, I got sick and tired of that. I got sick and tired of the stupidity, the desire for instant gratification, and for lack of a better word, ignorance. But I think it goes along with stupidity. So I was glad to finally retire at that point. I retired at 40. So I was glad, and I'm not looking back. Yeah, I miss my friends. I miss them a lot, but with Facebook and social media and all that stuff, blah, 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 I still keep in touch. As a matter of fact, most of my guest list are all my friends from work. Because to me, they're family. You build that bond. When you have to rely on somebody else's for your life, to save your life, they become family to you. And because y'all share the same experiences, you understand each other, you know what's going on, and yeah. So, anyways, my rant is over. Thanks if you're still here. I appreciate you watching this long. I'm probably going to end up breaking this up into 2 parts at least. And I'll talk to you later, because I'm gonna head back the same way I came. And if I see something cool or something happens, then I'll turn it back on. But I'm just going to concentrate on riding and enjoying silence. Because I'm going to get my therapy. Alright, see you later. Okay, well, I just had about the scariest thing ever happened to me. Doing 65 down this road, and my tire went flat. You want to talk about fishtailing? Holy smokes. I gotta change my pants. And call for a tow truck, because there ain't no way I'm riding on that.